Hi Year 7, hope you're all well and having a lovely day. Today's lesson we're going to build on our work we've done so far this week on factors, multiples, primes, squares and cubes. So make sure you've got a title and your date in your book neatly underlined, so just pause the video so you can do that briefly now. And then hopefully, we're not going to spend a lot of time talking about these today because I spent quite a lot of time talking about this in the last couple of lessons. I want to leave most of today's lessons so you can practice some problems around these different types of numbers, but I'm going to do a quick recap of what each one is. So factors. The factors of a number are the numbers that divide exactly into that number. Okay, and we're going to do example factors of 40. Remember, if you need to find the factors of a number, you must work systematically. You must do it in pairs and you must work your way through. So if I'm going to do the factors of 40, in fact, everyone pause the video now so you can have a go. Okay, so this is what hopefully you've done. I'm going to start with 1 and 40. Okay, then I'm going to say, does 2 go into it? Well, yeah, 2 goes into it. 2 goes in with 20. I need to think, does 3 go into it? Well, actually, if I count up or I check with bus stop, 3 doesn't go into it. So then 4, does 4 go into it? Yeah, I know 4 goes into it. 4 and 10. 5, does 5 go into it? Yeah, I know that 5 goes into it. 5 goes with 8. And then 6, does 6 go into it? No. 7, does 7 go into it? No. 8, does 8 go into it? Yes. But I have already got 8, so that means I've got all of them. So those are all the factors of 40. Really important that you can recognise numbers as factors of other numbers. You're not always going to be writing them all out. You remember what that means, numbers that go into that number, and you can recognise some numbers as factors of other numbers. That's what you'll be practicing doing today. Next, the first 10 multiples of 7. Remember, multiples are numbers in that numbers times table. So the first 10 multiples of 7 are 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, 63, and 70. Once again, sometimes you have to list those numbers, but other times you just need to recognise those numbers as multiples of 7 or as multiples of anything else, and that's what you'll be doing today. Next, let's have a look at primes, squares, and cubes. We talked about primes, I think, in Wednesday's lesson. Primes are numbers with exactly being an important word there, 2 factors. We made a note of those numbers yesterday. Pause the video now. Without looking at the note we made yesterday, can you remember which are the prime numbers up to 30? Write them down now as best you can now. Pause the video, then come back to me. Okay, let's see how many you remembered. Up to 30, there is 2, 3, 5, 7. Let's start a new row for the next lot of 10. 11, 13, 17, 19, and 23, and 29. Really well done if you remembered those. There are more. 31 is prime, 37 is prime, they go on, but those are the main ones we need to remember and recognise as prime numbers. The squares we looked at again yesterday. Can pause the video without looking at your notes. Can you remember what the square numbers are and write them down, then unpause? Okay, hopefully you remembered those square numbers are 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81, and 100, and sort of bonus you might get as well, 121 and 144 are good ones to remember. Again, you need to recognise those numbers as square numbers. You'll be practicing that later for the rest of the lesson. And last one, cubes. One more time, pause the video. Can you write down and remember the cube numbers? Okay, and those first 5 cube numbers you need to know are 1, 8, 27, 64, and 125. You need to recognise those numbers as cube numbers. Okay, that should take that you're probably now about 10 or 15 minutes into the lesson, depending on how long you paused for to do those different bits. So that means the time is now probably about 11:30, 25 past 11:30. You need to work on the task that I've set you in the PowerPoint until about 12 o'clock. And then that'll give you a little break before period 4. As ever, any problems or any problems at all, I will be on my computer. So I will get back to you. If you let me know, I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. Have a lovely day, have a lovely weekend, and I'll speak to you next week.